Hey everyone, welcome back. It is time for another wrestling review. I promise this review will be shorter than the pre-show, but we'll have more matches. So let us welcome back Campo.Reviews, the man who reviews movies, TV shows, wrestling, and everything else in between. Make sure you go and give his channel a follow down to the description box below. And while you're down there, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff for this channel. Make sure we keep growing this channel. Today we are doing AEW's Double or Nothing. And again, almost a 2 hour pre-show. We got two matches.
Yeah, I'm really not liking that. It's pretty stupid.
Yeah. Um, we'll start with Anna Jay and Harley Cameron versus Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford.
Visually, I liked it. Does that count? Um,
Yes.
no, you know what? It's actually was better than I thought it would be, and I think the follow-up match, though a little bit clunky, the plunder match they had on Dynamite was
Dynamite.
was pretty solid as well.
Yeah.
Anna Jay still has her struggles,
Yeah.
and Harley Cameron is
She
not
works well
really
as a
a
comedic character, but she
she's a
needs to
great
polish.
character. She could sell. She's
Yeah.
really good at taking bumps, but she can't still really go in the ring. She has some new moves, so I'll give her credit for trying to get
Yeah.
better. Um, Megan Bayne is amazing,
Yeah.
and Penelope Ford is both. She's overused for
Yeah.
what she's capable of, but she's also
Yeah.
underappreciated because she actually can wrestle,
She can. Yeah.
but she can't wrestle well enough to get used as much as she's being used.
Yeah. It's Anna Jay. I think all of them, other than Haley Cameron, they're being misused in the pre-show, and
I
they have
mean,
so much more.
the whole pre-show was a mess. I'm glad we don't
Yeah.
rate these on the pre-show.
Yeah, or else it would be pretty bad. So Anna Jay and Haley Cameron do win. I like the new version of the stink face where Haley Cameron just rubbed thing's face right in Anna Jay's butt. It's that was kind of fun.
Putty.
But yeah, the putty was probably yelling and screaming. Bandito, AR Fox, and Los Titanes del Área against RPG Vice and the Crew. 8-man tag team match. Basically, get over your ROH talent.
Listen, first of all, bring back the Rapongi Vice song, okay?
Yes.
Rapongi Nights, Rapongi Vice. Okay,
Yeah.
but at number two, what the hell is RPG Vice? Why can't they just call themselves Rapongi Vice?
Because they're not in Roppongi anymore. They're in North America.
So who cares? That's their name.
Yeah. And this is
The
the
fuck?
OG Roppongi Vice. Bring them
That's what I'm
back.
saying. They're the real Rapongi Vice.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was excited when I saw the group of wrestlers we were getting in the
Yeah.
match, and the match was very entertaining for what it was, but I
Yeah.
also just falls back on the TNA and NXT pay-per-views we just watched where I don't need this match.
Yeah. Again, we've seen this already. You
I
just
don't
changed a
like
couple
slap
names around.
together
Yeah.
4-on-4 matches. That's not for me.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it was. But Bandito and those guys do win. Yay. So let's go into the main show. The show starts off with Mercedes Moné against Jamie Hayter for the Owen Hart Foundation Cup tournament final. The winner will get an AEW championship match.
Okay.
I didn't like this match.
I did.
Okay, let me rephrase that. The match was good. I don't like what they're doing.
I think that you should have had your run out today at a
Mm.
pay-per-view, especially because we knew she was there
Yep.
and not on Dynamite in a 1 second like go to commercial break situation
Yeah.
where
And
we
not
didn't even
even
see what was
explain.
happening.
Yeah.
The camera
And
cut didn't even cut to it until it was over.
yeah. So with that's to let you know that Tekla does attack Jamie Hayter later on Dynamite. Tekla, and that's the thing too. Like we know Tekla because we've been following her career for the last few years, watching a lot of Japanese wrestling, but a lot of the North American, like maybe in AEW, they'd be more familiar with her, but I don't think North America's too familiar with Tekla.
I don't think
She's
so either.
she's
She's
not
the
on the level as like a Julia or a Stephanie Vaquer or a La Catalina. Like it's not.
she no, she's better than La Catalina.
Yes, but
She's
she's not like as well
she's
known.
she's she's on a level of La Catalina in terms of name recognition. Like she's
Mhm.
people know her, but she's not like super popular.
Yeah,
I mean, in Japan, she's one of the best prospects that coming out of Japan, even though she's older.
yeah,
But she's the best thing out of Japan to come to North America since
Julia.
I would say Mariah because Julia already kind of left Japan
Yeah,
before that. Um, I thought Sasha Banks was really good. And
Yeah,
she doesn't normally have great matches against
North American style.
North American style wrestling, but it was actually really well done. I thought it was really hard hitting. I thought the in-ring story was pretty good. It's where it lost me was the match was too long. It was way too long.
Yeah, it was over 20 minutes.
Um, there was a
And
perfect
that's,
moment to end it too, and they didn't. And
yeah, and
it
they
should have
didn't.
just
And like you said, this is where Tekla coming out because she was there.
yeah. And I think though, even if you didn't want to do it for this moment, like now that we know what her storyline is, I would have done it here. But
Yeah,
before the pay-per-view aired and we didn't know where she was coming out or what was going to be, I
yeah,
would have had her come out, beat the crap out of Harley Cameron and Anna Jay, and made that a trio where Tekla's the leader of the group and Penelope's like the
yeah,
cute girl and Megan Bayne is the muscle. That's how
yeah,
I would have had that and make them a heel group.
yeah,
And don't break them up right away like you did with the Outcasts or whatever the hell they were called.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you need
That's,
that. You need a
yeah.
women's heel faction. You don't have
You
it.
don't have one. Yeah. And yeah, but in the end, though, Mercedes Moné does win this. And this is where I'm
I was
thinking,
very upset. This was such
yeah,
a bad choice.
this is a really bad choice. They want Monet to basically win they want AEW, I think here, Tony Khan specifically, I think wants to make Monet the best out of the four horsewomen. And that's why he's pushing her like she's won all the belts in a matter of a
What is she
year.
going to win next? The Ring of Honor belt too?
She'll probably do them all. Yeah. She's already beaten Athena.
I think Athena needs to beat her for the T. You have to have Billy Starks win the Ring of Honor belt, number one.
Yes.
Then you need to have Athena beat her for the TNT belt because Athena never won the TNT belt for all those Jade Cargill matches. She needs to finally win that belt. Okay.
Hmm.
Then you can move Monet to the world title picture. You can't do it now.
But they're going to. They're going
Have
to.
her and then have her go on a weird losing streak. So she loses the belt to Athena. She loses the title match against Tony
Well,
Storm.
she's already lost the strong belt to Azumi.
Yeah, and now she should lose the Rev Pro
Rev
belt
Pro?
to Mina Shirakawa and have give belts to your other wrestlers spread out
Yeah.
and then have Mercedes lose to Tony Storm, lose all those other belts, contemplate what she's doing, disappear for a bit, come back,
Yeah.
and then she can win the world title.
Yeah, because I don't like what they're doing with Monet. I really don't.
It just it's when she didn't need to win this year. She can win next year's
Yeah.
tournament. You should have gave it. Jamie Hayter needs momentum. This was the perfect Jamie
You
Hayter versus Tony Storm is what we want.
yeah. And you've killed any momentum that Jamie Hayter had coming back.
Do you remember how many good Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm matches we had when Tony Storm was in the Outcast? They were
Hmm.
great matches. Like I
Yeah.
don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Anyways, poor booking, good
Poor
match.
booking. So with that, moving on to our next match. FTR against Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness.
This match sucked. This match sucked, and it was way too long.
Yes.
Way too long.
Again, 23 minutes.
This is a trend.
Why?
By the end of the match three, I was so fatigued from this pay per
Oh
view. I
yeah.
was like, I need a break.
Yeah, I had to watch this in like three different installments.
I watched it all at once, but I just had to get up and walk away.
Yeah. Because yeah, especially after the next match too, which again was too long.
And
But
I made a huge coffee after the third match.
yeah. With that, yeah, this I don't know, did we need this match? Wouldn't it have been
No.
wouldn't have been this I think would have told a better story, even if they would have lost Daniel Garcia, his special partner, not Nigel McGuinness, but a returning Adam Copeland would have made more sense. Christian would have made more sense.
I don't know. I don't know.
Brian Danielson
It
returning
was
would have made
listen,
more
whatever
sense.
you're doing, Daniel Garcia is one of our faves.
Hmm.
We were big on him. We were saying he
Kind of
was part
local
of
from Buffalo.
we were saying he's part of the second tier of pillars for that company. It was like Ricky Starks and him, blah blah blah. I'm not gonna go through everybody, but it's he's not improving.
He's lost
He
momentum.
needs to lose the gimmick. He needs to
Hmm.
ditch Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Luke or
Matt
whatever the fuck
Menard,
is
yeah.
yeah. He needs to ditch both of those guys, and he needs to ditch the dance thing. He needs to go
Yeah.
away for a bit and come back as like a real serious
A wrestler.
Brian Danielson type of wrestler where he's so serious. That's the kind of wrestler I want from him.
Yeah.
Where he's like so locked in, like Shibata or something. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. But FTR does win this, but this match went on way too long.
This
Way too
this to
long.
me, this is a 1-star match, and I
Yeah.
never thought I'd give FTR a
FTR, yeah. They've
1-star
fallen
match.
so far off from what they used to be.
Yeah, this match was 13 minutes too long.
Yeah. Ricochet versus Mark Briscoe in a stretcher, your favorite.
It the ring work isn't bad, but the length of this match was too long, and they
Again,
kept walking
17
over to the
minutes.
ambulance and then walking back to the
No,
ring.
according to Ricochet, the ambulance.
Yeah, but why did they keep walking back to the ring? Just fight by the ambulance. That's where you have to put
It
the
makes a
guy.
return though later in the show.
Yeah, I mean, after this, I like I said, I needed a break and I needed a huge coffee. We're an
Yeah.
hour into this pay-per-view and I've watched 3 matches that like didn't matter. Well, actually, okay,
Technically,
I like the women's match. I like the women's
we're
match.
almost 3 hours into the show. We've only seen four matches.
I really, really like the women's match, but it was just
Okay.
too long.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Um, so with that, moving into our next match, after you've had your coffee, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin against the Sons of Texas for the AEW World Tag Team Championship.
Guess what? I love the Hurt Business or whatever they're called.
The Hurt Syndicate now, yeah.
Okay, they are the hottest things in all of wrestling. Period. Move over Cody Rhodes. The
Hmm.
problem is this match is such a stupid choice for who you're fighting. Like, why would they be fighting Dustin Rhodes
There was no story for this.
and Sammy Guevara? Is it just
Yeah.
to put them on a pay-per-view? Because I
Yeah.
don't get it. And the match was fine, but once again, it was weirdly long and tried to tell a story that didn't matter.
Yeah.
Why would you have the people that are already champions wrestling the other champions for the belt? Like, stop doing
It
that.
diminishes this diminishes the value of your ROH Tag Team Championship.
What you should have did here is had the match be for like the Ring of Honor belts and had a third tag team here that you want to win the Ring of Honor belts and have them beat Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara by using the Hurt Syndicate to beat them up. Because this
Exactly.
match was just a really strange match that I don't understand what's happening. Um, I mean, clearly, I think the idea for this group is to win the trios belts to pad MJF's career.
Do you think it's going to be MJF or you think it's going to be
It's going to be
Cedric?
MJF, and
Not
then
Cedric.
they're going to tell a turn.
Okay.
Cedric Alexander's not coming to AEW.
That's what Russell Talk keeps saying.
Dude, Wrestle Talk is never right, number one. Number two,
I love
like
I
of
love
all the
dogging on them.
companies, they're the least. No,
Reputable.
actually, WrestleMania's wrong more than Wrestle
Yeah.
Talk, I think.
Yeah, that's true too.
Anyways,
But shout out
digressing
to
from
What
our
Culture, they're the best.
what culture is the least biased one?
Yeah.
Like, I love watching their news and What Culture and Cultaholic
Yeah.
because they talk about WWE, they talk about AEW, and they just deliver the news. They don't have a take where it's like seems like it's always being favorable to one of the
Yeah,
companies.
it's unbiased.
It's like they're just watching wrestling. They came to
Yeah.
watch wrestling. The
That's
reason I
exactly
don't really like What Culture as much anymore is because they've kind of strayed away from really talking about TNA or New Japan.
Japan.
They just really only talk about WWE and AEW.
Yeah.
Anyways, far
Moving on.
digress from the point.
But yes, Hurt Syndicate does win this match, and it devalues your ROH belts, I think.
I think the biggest mistake WWE has made in the last 5 years was not figuring out what to do with these guys because
Yeah.
that's psycho. They're so over, and I hate
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley. I love
It
Shelton,
worked
but
so
I hate Bobby
remember was it
Lashley.
last year? Last year at WrestleMania, you had the Hurt Syndicate against the Profits, and that was a great match.
Yeah, and they started off really hot, and then they didn't want to do anything. They didn't want MVP anymore. They didn't want to listen to anything he was saying.
Yeah. But
Let the
anyway,
man cook. Yeah, look,
exactly.
they took a guy that everyone was tired of in MJF and kind of put him in a place now where people are happy that he's back.
Yeah, they revitalized him a little bit. Yeah, agreed. Um, Kazuchika Okada defending the AEW Continental Championship against Speedball Mike
Well,
Bailey.
this was a really good match.
Yeah, gotta give it that. This was an excellent match.
They don't mesh together that well style wise,
No,
and the match was a little bit long, but it was all the matches on this card are a little bit long.
yeah, it didn't need to be this long.
You could have took 5 minutes off every match and had another match added.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Yeah,
Um, Yeah, it was. This was a pretty good match. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, okay, now we're going somewhere. I'm happy
But
again.
but then again, to me, by Speedball losing, Okada retains. Don't you devalue Speedball already?
No. Speedball got to fight one of the top five best wrestlers in the world,
So now he's faced Okada and Tanahashi
and Kenny Omega.
and Kenny Omega. Yeah. Okay. But Okada does win. We knew that was not gonna. I knew that was not. They're gonna take. They're not. They're building up to the unification match between Okada and Kenny Omega
Yeah. And by the way,
slowly.
our truth was cut.
Yes. Was he cut or was he? Did he ask for his
He
release?
was no, they released him.
Really?
That's why they gave him the match against John Cena so that he could have like a big title match on his way out.
Ah,
But
Timmy's on it.
apparently the rumors, even though that they keep denying it, are of Nakamura is true. He's gonna leave
He's gonna
WWE.
leave too. Hmm.
You think Tanahashi's not waiting at the airport with a bag full of money?
Oh yeah,
For
for sure.
sure he is.
If he's not waiting there, definitely. What's his
Noah's
name?
waiting there.
Yeah, they're both going to be waiting there with bags of money.
Pick one.
Yeah, have your
Choose your own
pick.
adventure.
Yeah, and congratulations to Takeshita.
Yeah. Good for you, Takeshita.
He got married. Um, we'll talk about that in the next match. But Timeless Tony Storm defending against Mina Shirakawa.
Okay. In the weird fluffernutter world of American wrestling, women's wrestling, with all of the weird shit that happens, and just watching Mina not be able to really
Shine.
integrate herself into that style, this was one of the better matches that she's had.
Yeah. The only thing was I felt I think you froze here for a second. There you are.
Yeah.
The only thing I felt uncomfortable was the ending.
Yeah.
Did it really need that?
No. But I think Mina wants that. Like the Mina seems to want to do that all the
The
time.
over sexualized.
Yeah, I think she's I don't know if the word is very comfortable, but I think she's very accepting of the fact of selling herself as a sex object. Not that sounds worse than I mean it.
Yeah, no, I know what you
But
mean.
like to because she's making a shitload of money off it.
Yeah, she knows she's an attractive woman, so I might as well
Apparently
use.
her lineups at the cons are mental.
Yeah, eh?
Yeah. And she goes to like every single one.
She wasn't at Niagara.
Well, they're not in Toronto.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
it wasn't a wrestling convention.
No, it was a comic convention. Yeah, but yeah, when they do the Starcade, the was it the Starcasts and all that.
Yeah. Like you're gonna see fan expos start to open up more to that, I think, because they go to Comic Con and New York Comic Con and
Hmm.
C2E2 and like stuff like that in the
Yeah,
States, right? So I think you're gonna start seeing them come to Toronto Fan Expo. There's gonna be like a
yeah.
wrestling section
And
now.
off topic here. What happened to comics at the Comic Con?
Niagara used to be the only comics. That was their whole thing.
Yeah, now it's all Funko Pops.
Well, that's because they need to unload Funko Pops.
Yeah,
And weirdly, the market for Funko Pops skyrocketed back up again.
really.
Like all the ones that were rare are actually like valuable again.
Hmm. Yeah,
They're
but
kind of
that's
hitting the Beanie Baby phase.
so. Yeah, so I was just at the Niagara Con, and there were three booths,
That's actually ridiculous.
three booths with comics. The only big one that actually had a wide variety of stuff was 1 Million Comics.
Well, shout out to 1 Million Comics. Send us some
Yeah,
comics for free.
yeah. But yeah, it's like that was the only one that actually. And then when I'm asking for the more niche stuff, which I remember going to cons, that's where you would find your niche stuff.
You
You can't
can't
find.
anymore. It's the same
No.
thing like when I went to the Card Expo in April. Um, I went there thinking, well, this is the place where you're gonna find those things that you want to buy and you don't want to pay the shipping from eBay. But I got there and
Hmm.
nobody has any of those things because they all just have like LeBron James. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
everyone's just selling Drake albums. You can't find the Wu-Tang album because there's only Drake. It's that kind of thing.
yeah,
You want to buy comics, they only have modern DC and modern Marvel. They don't
yeah.
have anything else. So
But
if you're
even
going there
stuff
looking
that's
for something small,
like for example, it's not what I'm looking for. I was looking for is the Star Trek Planet of the Apes crossover.
yeah.
Like you would think, like Like even like I was even looking for some random Animal Man issues, and it's like they didn't even have Animal Man.
No, because they're the niche stuff is gone. It's only mainstream stuff that they
Like
sell now.
it
Even
was
you look at wrestling figs.
even trying to find Green Lantern stuff was hard.
I used to be able to go there and you could find New Japan and like the old TNA stuff, and I should have bought it because now that's like really cool to have that. Now all you get is AEW Jazzwares and WWE like Legends. Like it's even hard to find the Ultimates now for
Yeah,
WWE. They just have the Legends ship because they're so easy to steal those off shelves at Walmart.
yeah,
These people go there, they clear out a whole section, and they just resell them for $10 more.
and jack up the prices. Yeah, absolutely. But going back, Timeless Tony Storm, and Mina Shirakawa. This was a decent match. I'm not gonna. It wasn't on the level whereas that match that Tony Storm had on the few pay-per-views back. That was a fantastic the
No,
one
but it was a
against.
good match. It was better than
Yeah,
I expected because I've been really down on Mina lately. Outside of the strong match, that was pretty
yeah.
good.
And like I said, I just the only thing was the whole like, I guess would you call it sexual tension at the end of the match?
Yeah, it was unnecessary.
That was unnecessary. I didn't need that. But Tony Storm does retain. Tony Storm versus Monet. I don't know how I feel about that. Tony Storm's losing that, isn't she?
I feel like it's not a good combo because Tony Storm, as good as she is a wrestler like Sasha, where
Hmm.
if they don't have an opponent that can go hard with them, they kind of just do fluffy stuff.
Yeah,
And I think them facing each other is just going to be a really awkward, slow paced, swinging at the air match.
yeah,
Like if it was Alexa Bliss versus Liv Morgan or something like that, I feel
yeah.
like that's like
Ooh,
what it's going to
don't
end
want
up
to watch
being.
that. Okay. Anarchy in the Arena. Omega, Strickland, Willow Nightingale, and the Ops against the Death Riders and the Young Bucks.
Super fun.
Hmm.
Had a great time. Enjoyed all of it.
Overbooked as much as I love it.
It just it got it wasn't too long in the sense that the match time was too long. It got to a point where they waited too long to do all of the new cool things,
Yeah,
and it was like we drug out the match for 5 more minutes just so that you could do this one thing. Like we didn't need to do this,
yeah,
but there was some cool spots. There's also some dumb ones like the swerve with the forklift was stupid because everyone had to stand there and wait
yeah.
until the
Wait
forklift
for
drove
him.
into position, and then
The
he didn't even
spot I
jump from
liked
that
was
high.
putting the lock through Willow's spacer hole.
I said that I was yelling about that. I'm like, holy shit, they're gonna rip her ear off. Like they're gonna do like our earring rip off thing.
Yeah. So I liked that spot. I cringed a little bit at that. The only thing at the end when it started, like as much as I like the overbooking, why did we have to bringing it back to Ricochet? Why did we bring the ambulance back?
And I think this was your opportunity to have a run out from someone from New Japan
Well, you
to
did. You
help.
got Gabe Kidd,
Yeah, but a run out from someone on Kenny's side to help out that storyline from New Japan. You could have had a run out by
Ishii, which he did. Didn't he come out?
he walked out at some point with somebody. He comes out with Tanahashi.
Yeah.
Um, the
Or is
what's
it the
the
next
Golden
match? The
Lover? What
next
the
match,
yeah
isn't it?
that happens. Okay, Kota
Yeah.
Ibushi should have been Kota Ibushi or it should have been someone from Kenny, something like that.
Wouldn't it have been awesome if it was Taguchi?
Yeah, it could have been anybody that came to help Kenny is what it
You
should
know
have
what?
been.
You know what would have been perfect? And a slap in the face to Mox if it was Umino.
No, they should have had Umino come out for the other team
Okay,
and
either
then
way.
have the other person come out, right? It
Yeah.
just it to me it was kind of goofy the way that they handled that run. Like, why is it Mark Briscoe? What the fuck does Mark Briscoe have to do with this?
Nothing. That's
Right?
what made no
Or
sense.
like you had Hook come out. I expected that. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, but then he leaves right away.
He's still part of the ops though, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's in the part of the ops in like a we're breaking up way because he's
Yeah.
mad that they gave the belt to Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah.
But
I
like
don't know.
there's other things you could have done. Jack Perry should have came out here. This is a
Yeah, where
perfect
is he?
opportunity for Jack Perry.
Where is he?
Do you get it? Like
Yeah.
that's what I was waiting for and it just didn't happen.
Yeah. It
The
felt like
the
you're right. It
songs
felt
were
like it was
fun.
missing
They didn't
something.
need to play Bodies Hit the Floor 7 times. 2 times was I'm okay with.
Yeah. But I even put again, why do they do this in the Anarchy in the Arena matches? They
I
always keep
like
the
it, but
music.
just one time. One song, one
Like
time.
I liked it that one time that band was playing. Was it the band and they were playing Wild Thing and then the Bucks super
Yeah.
kicked?
After
That's
like the
fun.
17th time of playing Wild Thing.
Yeah. But in the end, though, Omega and those boys. Oh, let's talk about Swerve Strickland, that Predator costume that he had.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah. But
Good on ya.
lasagna.
Good on ya.
Yeah. But yeah, Kenny Omega and those guys win. Next, another trios match. We have the Callis family against Paragon.
I don't want to give this match a 0 out of 5 because I really like the
It's
Callis
Takeshita.
family wrestlers. But like this was such an unnecessary, irrelevant match where
Yeah.
Adam Cole just like didn't do anything, but somehow
No.
is like getting pushed still. Like I don't know. I don't like Adam Cole anymore at all.
Yeah. I think he's washed up.
He for me, his entire other than his match against Hangman Page for the belt, like pre him losing it to CM Punk,
Hmm.
is the only match where I really liked Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Everything after that was just like, okay, yeah, you exist.
Yeah. And
He's a wrestler
this
that falls, sadly, not like I don't want to be mean to you, into the Johnny Gargano pot of like I don't even get why people like him. I don't see it.
fair enough. Fair
They're
enough.
65 pounds soaking wet. They're like the Alexa Bliss of male wrestlers.
That's a good comparison. But the Don
Say the
Callis family,
name.
yeah. Don Callis does win. The family does win. It is too. It's
It was
setting up.
fine. It was a
This is
fine
setting.
match, but
I
I
know,
don't
but
need
this is
it.
setting up. This is setting up something for Forbidden Door now.
And I called it. This was the P match. The
Yeah.
reason this match existed was for people to go to the bathroom.
Hmm. And this is all it was to set up Forbidden Door. So now you're going to get the Paragon and Tanahashi and Ishii against the Callis family and probably some other
Oh
random.
yeah, Ishii comes out with Tanahashi and nobody who gives a shit.
Yeah,
He couldn't even Tanahashi tried to slide under the rope and couldn't. I mean, Ishii tried to slide under the rope and he couldn't even get up. He had to do it a second time to get into the ring.
I
And
love it though.
Tanahashi looked like his legs didn't work at all.
Yeah. So with that, our main event of the evening, Hangman Adam Page against Will Ospreay.
Was this a really good match? Yeah, but at this point, with how long this pay-per-view's being and the
Yeah.
fact that this shouldn't have been the main event,
And this was
like
also 40 minutes.
this should not have been
The
the main
Anarchy in the
event.
Arena match should have been the main event.
Yeah, 1,000%. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah. Maybe it's in his contract that he needs to, I don't
I
know.
don't know, man. But
But
listen,
it was a good match.
I was a really good match. I'm really satisfied with this outcome. I think Hangman Page has cemented himself as one of
Hmm.
the best wrestlers in all of wrestling, and he has been overlooked for the last like 2 years since CM Punk really pushed him down the card. It
Yeah.
was CM Punk's doing that pushed him down the card.
But it's telling a great redemption story now.
It is. And I think the heel to face thing that happened was excellent. I think it happened a little too fast, but I don't expect more from AEW and their storytelling because
Yeah.
they don't do good jobs of that.
Yeah. They don't do good storytelling.
Um, but yeah, I thought I really enjoyed this match, and
Yeah.
I really enjoy Hangman, and I like the storytelling, and I liked what they tried to do on Dynamite, but that promo was way too long.
Hmm.
Stop having 40-minute promos that have Will Ospreay because he can't cut a promo.
Bruv.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, Swerve, and the back and forth between Swerve and Hangman was great.
Yeah.
I think you set yourself up here for either a three-way match after Hangman wins the belt, or Swerve gets a rematch against Hangman,
Against,
and,
yeah,
and
because
Will
I think,
Ospreay interferes because now Will Ospreay's mad at Swerve
yeah, yeah.
because
But
they
I
get
think,
into a
yeah,
little fight there.
I do think with Hangman winning this match, I really do think he's gonna finally beat Mox because this whole Death Rider story is done. I'm done with it. I don't.
I'm okay with them existing, but the way that they're telling the story needs to change.
Yeah, they don't need belts. They just have them
Yeah, just have them
because
causing
when was the last
ruckus.
time Mox defended the belt? Was it the Copeland match?
I think so.
And that was a while ago.
No, I think he defended it on TV against like a random person.
Was it? I know the last time I saw it on a pay-per-view was a Dynasty, which was back at the beginning of April.
But I mean, like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think if you had this match and then it led into the Anarchy in the Arena match, because that was fun. My favorite part of that match was just zoning in.
Hmm.
Okay, and
And
we
watching
had
all
like
the
a game
plunder.
going, zoning in on Samoa Joe just doing nothing, like lying on the floor, not doing anything, or Shibata not taking any bumps and then constantly like whoever he was fighting legitimately beating the shit out of them. And then
And he's
every
no
time you
selling.
could see Wheeler Yuta's face is like, no, why do I have to fight him? Every single time because Wheeler Yuta
Yeah.
knew every big bump that was done by Shibata was on Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah.
And he knew he was going to get hurt every time because Shibata does not fucking hold. Shibata kicked him at one point so hard that I
Yeah.
was like, I think he's dead. Like, and it was just funny because and then you hit one
Yeah.
time he did a hard move on Shibata,
And
and
Shibata no sold it.
Shibata looked at him, and you could see him be like, "Oh fuck, why did I do that?"
He's gonna hurt
Like,
me now.
it
Yeah.
was really good. Like
Yeah.
he's the one wrestler like I wouldn't want to fuck with in
Shibata?
AEW.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he seems like backstage he'll like literally knock you the hell out.
Yeah. So all in all, what would you score this show?
You got to go first. I think I went first every
No,
time.
I went first on the last time.
6.9.
Wow, you're giving this a six as well, eh? I'm just right in the middle there. I'm at seven. So
I want to give it a 7, but I just think it was those first that chunk of 3 matches after the women's match
yeah.
was like an
If if
hour of like
if I was
awful.
counting the pre-show, this be a 6-4.
If those come, I'm pretty sure those would be a 6.
Yeah.
Um, I think the difference is the TNA card moved better,
Yeah, there was just as many matches with in
and
less time.
the NXT pay-per-view also moved better. This was just
Yeah.
like it's not even that the matches were better or worse. It's just as an event, like I can't tell you to go watch this 4.5 hour pay-per-view
No.
when it's
No.
so slow.
Yeah, at least like if you watch Noah for 4 hours, it moves.
You can watch the women's match, you can watch the
Anarchy
Anarchy, and you can
and the
watch
main
the
event.
men's match.
Yeah.
That's all I would watch.
Everything else you can skip. So, with that out of the way, this review went a little longer than expected. So, tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to have a little quick recap of the best of the Super Juniors. So, make sure you tune in tomorrow for that. So, with that out of the way, guys, in the words of Kenny Omega, goodbye and good night.